Behind me is Rio de la Plata. It's calm, it's quiet, but this stretch of water is the reason that the capital of Uruguay, Montevideo, exists today. To the south you've got Argentina, and then to the north you've got Brazil. And a few centuries ago, Spain and Portugal were fighting over who controlled this stretch. So Montevideo was built to stop someone else from taking it. Now the history of the capital city is long, and I am going to go around the old town where I am right now and show you as much as I can of the history, and keep it simple because that's the way I like my history. But unfortunately, being a backpacker travelling around, I booked another night at the hostel I was staying at, and I've got to change rooms in about an hour's time. So I will be stopping to go back there. Plus, what I'm wearing right now is the last of my clean clothes, which means I need to find a laundrette today. And because it is a Sunday, every single laundrette around here is closed apart from one, which is about a 20-minute walk. So it's a normal traveller's day. So I'm going to go along towards Independence Square and see what else I can see, pick up, and find out what made Montevideo the city it is today. So in the late 1600s, Portugal tried to take control of the river, and just further south from here they set up in Colonia. The Spanish didn't like it, so they started a fortified town of Montevideo, and this is what's left of the original walls of the city. So everything that was once inside here was surrounded by fortifications, and obviously this wasn't built as a beach resort, this was a military stronghold. Now to get here I've just went straight back to the hostel to move all my bags out of the room and the storage, ready to go back in a couple more hours when my new room is clean and ready. So Montevideo became a Spanish naval base. Soldiers, trade, they wanted to control this area. But as you go around this Independence Square, you've got so many old buildings, and right at the centre is the hero of Uruguay. After Uruguay got its independence, they started taking all the walls down of the fortification, the city walls, and then and this became the Independence Square. It was in the 20th century early that a French architect came along and was asked to redesign it, and came up with little fountains. At the time there's lots of flowers, and then a statue was built for this guy here. So he is General José Artigas, basically Uruguay's founding father. He fought for Spain, but he also didn't want his areas controlling everything. So he wanted the region to govern itself, and he fought hard. But for some reason he died in exile. That is one big statue. Now all the way around there's so many like old buildings, but since 2010 this has been the site of the inauguration of the president of Uruguay, and that's his offices just there. Now when you look at the statue, on both sides are some stairs going down, and I've seen people walking down and up, including some soldiers. So I'm gonna have a little wander down. So I've just checked online. This is the actual mausoleum of Artigas. Oh, there's soldiers. Wow. I don't know how close I can get, but when you look around, in fact I am going to go around. So right there in the centre is the remains, I'm assuming. I wonder if they do like a change in the ceremony. I mean, there's no aircon in here. Bless him. As you look around, they've got the dates of the history of the general himself. He's moving. And it looks like this was inaugurated in 1977. Wow. This is quite cool. That place was so quiet. Even when I turn my camera on, there's a little bit of a noise it makes. It echoed in there. And then poor guys, like I said, there's no aircon. It is quite warm. I can understand why that guy was moving. I've just realised that if General Artigas died in exile, the country must have brought his body across back to Uruguay to build that. So he must have been important. And one of the buildings on that outside of the Independence Square is this Plaza Salvo, built in the 1920s, and this was, when it was finished building, the tallest building in South America. It was meant to be originally a hotel, but it didn't quite make it. So now it is just offices, apartment blocks. But at the time when it was built, this was when Uruguay was one of the richest countries in South America. They had beef exports, they were a stable economy. But it's just the top. It looks like a lighthouse. But I'll just go back further so you can get a better view. So if I come back to the statue, just to get a better look at this. That is beautiful. Now, according to what I've just read, there is an LED light right at the very top, which lights up at night. So I might have to come out tonight to see it. So this is the modern seat of government for Uruguay, but next door is the original seat of government just built after independence. It is now Government House Museum, but unfortunately because it is a Sunday it is closed, so can't get in. I'm finding this place rather fascinating, and the big bonus is everything's walkable, walking distance. You've got the Rio de la Plata just down there where I was earlier. Everything's just round here. But I want to try and walk a bit further afield, see what else there is. So I've left the Independence Square behind me and I'm heading down this way because I've had a couple of people commenting to say I should, on a Sunday, which it is today, visit the historical market. It's a big flea market. It's about a 20-minute walk, but I'm going to enjoy Montevideo as I walk around. I'm enjoying this little walk, going past little parks like this. I'm assuming that's a struggle for independence statue. Been not far to get to the market, so I'm here. Now this market seems to have two entrances. There's one up there and then there's one here. But this is the entrance that everybody else seems to be heading for. But this is the Feria de Tristan Navaya. I hope it's say it correctly. And this market in its current form has been going since the end of the 19th century, which makes it over 130 years old. Now, I am hungry. I am going to look for some sort of food, but I won't get it right at the entrance. I'll head in a bit further. But it's a flea market, it sells everything. From clothes, toilet roll, various food. So I have moved further in, and it just looks like it's a big old place. Now there is various other food places I've seen. I've sniffed it as I went past and they've gone really nice. And when I say they sell everything, tiles? Oh wow. Very amazing. I didn't realise how big this place would be. And that is what I've been looking for. Chivito. So I've asked for a chivito. I think it's 200. But it's steak. Look at that sizzling away.
Hay chivito, chorizo, hamburguesa. ¿Cómo está, chicos?
Now I'm really hungry.
Chivito al pan. ¿Cómo anda, maestro? Tengo chivito, chorizo o hamburguesa. No, chivito. Hay chivito, chorizo, hamburguesa. Hay chivito, chorizo, hamburguesa. Cuando puedas, bandejita, compa.
So this is it. This is the national dish or national sandwich. But it's steak, it's egg, it's tomato, it's got peppers, it looks absolutely delicious. So I've got myself a little seat. Let's try it. Oh, it is a handful. Very messy. But I've got toilet. I've got paper towel. Oh wow, that's good. Very messy, very good, very tasty. That's going to fill me up. Awesome. Awesome. That was delicious. And one of the questions I get asked a lot of time is, how can you travel through a country when you don't even know the language? I've just had a national dish in a market stall without using any English, without any Spanish. I just pointed. It works. But I'm going to carry on through this market, which has got lots more stuff. Ooh, more food. Oh my god, it's got so much bigger. I think there's just many strands to this street market because I've just come from down there. But wow. But yeah, I keep looking at the food going, no, I don't need anything more. I've had a chivito and it was very filling. Sunglasses. Oh, I'm tempted. So this is definitely the main part of the market, or the main strand, because it's taken forever to get through the amount of people there is. Oh, and there's a band.
Quiero que me cantes un blues, que vuelva la luz.
So I'm walking outside of the market. It's just a bit too crazy busy, but I've just bumped into a guy. He's just got me on YouTube, but he's wearing a Newcastle United top. Obviously I'm from Newcastle. It's the first time I've seen a Newcastle United top in Latin America, so I had to stop him and say, I'm from Newcastle, hello. Yeah, that was an interesting talk, but he admitted it that he prefers Liverpool. So why are you wearing a Newcastle United top? But the market has been interesting. It has been something I need to go to see. That chivito, worth it, just for the long walk. And you can see it just sells everything that you could want to buy, apart from live animals. But then again, I've not been all the way down. But I need to go back to the hostel, mainly because I need to do laundry. Oh, and I need to change rooms to get my new room in. Oh, it's just normal travelling life. But that's been a bit of Montevideo. You've got the market even down there, another strand. You've got people putting stuff up down here. I've really, so far, enjoyed this place that I might even extend for another night in the hostel, because even walking down I've missed so much that I filmed and thinking I'll do that tomorrow. So if you've enjoyed this video, then all you got to do is press that like button. If you want to see more of Montevideo, then subscribe. But until the next time, bye bye.